Hey guys, it's your girl Mel coming to you real quick with a little bit of a nugget that I wanted to share with you. So welcome to Can We Talk Podcast. Take up a seat, and come listen because I think this is good. Get your notebook and pen. I always tell you guys that. Take these notes because these are nuggets that I truly believe will help you, will help grow your life, will help alter sometimes the perspective you may have if it needs some adjusting. So let's just jump right into it, okay? So a couple of days ago, I was scrolling through social media one night when I was trying to go to sleep and I wasn't. And a question pops up from a group that I must be a part of because I got the information. I don't even know how I got in that group, but I did. So a question pops up from a young lady who posts that she had been liking this guy for a while and dating this guy for a while, and every time she's in his presence, she feels butterflies. So her question was, do you think that the feeling of the butterflies in my stomach is an indication that I really like him? And when I saw that question, which by the way I thought was a great question, it seems simple, but it was a great question, my immediate short answer is no. No, 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 no. Okay? It is not an indication that you like him. It is not that. Before I even chimed in with my little 2 cents, from my own life lessons and my own experience and therapy and healing, this is before I even gave all of that, right? I decided, let me skim through these comments real quick. Let me just look through these comments. I want to see what other people are thinking, right? And so thankfully, I would say 75% to 80% of the people pretty much had the same idea that I did, which was the answer is no. And it came, and I even went into some of their pages. This came from people with some wisdom, okay? The answers that they were given that I agree with were coming from people with some life experience, some wisdom, who are in healthy relationships, or at least they're with someone. I don't know how healthy it is. I hope it's healthy. But based on what they were saying, it sounded pretty healthy. And I said, this is exactly my thought. And so, like I said, the answer is no. That's the short answer. This is the reason why I believe the answer is no. One, I'm a visual person. And so anytime I'm thinking of something, I'm also very inquisitive. I'm always digging, asking questions, trying to figure out, what is this? Where does this come from? Why is this happening? I'm always asking these type of questions, right? And when I think of the butterfly feeling in our stomachs, I think of a bunch of butterflies fluttering around with nowhere to land. I think of, try to envision that. You just see a bunch of butterflies just flying around, but there's no settle point. And I believe it's an indication of your own inner man telling you that when you are around this person, there is no rest. There is no peace. There is no settle. And so when I think of these butterflies that are fluttering around, I think of the word frantic. You become frantic when you are around this person. And the thing is, we have glamorized this idea of the butterfly feeling because we are used to the movies and the stories of all of these love stories that tell you this is good. This is a great indication that you must really like this person. But what I've learned, given the fact that I've been on, I don't know how many dates this year, I want to say about 100 dates during a pandemic, not lying. What I've learned by being around so many different people intentionally, I learned that when you are around some people, we are energy, okay? What that person is carrying with them, if you are in tune with yourself, if you know who you are, if you've done the self-work, if you've gone to therapy, got to a counselor, if you've done the work, if you at least started reading the books and asking the questions, if you at least started to correct your errors and started to adjust some of the old bad thinking, if you've even done that, then you should be at a place where you're in tuned enough within yourself that when you are around someone's energy, if it does not give you peace or rest or safety, right? Like, let's take off the table that you might like this person. Let's just take that off the table. Let's say you're at a family function and you got that one uncle or that one aunt that everybody be looking at with the side eye, right? And every time you're around them, you feel unsettled, you feel uncomfortable, you feel unsafe. It's questionable. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Do you just continue to spend time with them? No, you usually move away because you start to trust that sense of, something's not right. But what happens when we like somebody, I believe the butterflies feed into this idea of infatuation. And what happens is we, male or female, doesn't matter, because I don't want this to be like a specific thing. But because I am a woman, I am going to speak from the woman's perspective. I believe a lot of times we will create the idea of this person, the storyline of this person, and fall in love with the idea of them. And one of the things I said to the woman in the group was this. I said, if you really want to know if you really like this person, I would encourage you to get a journal, get a pen, write down everything that you think about them, everything that you believe that they are, everything that you think you're falling in heavy like with. Write it down. And then, possibly on that same page or on the next page, write down every time they have shown you this, proven this to you, or lived up to the very thing that you think you like. I believe that test would help a lot of people gain some clarity when it comes to if they really like someone or not. Because I think, again, like I said, we go into these situations, especially if you have a heavy desire to be in a relationship and you have a heavy desire to be with someone. Sometimes your desire can take over what's really going on. And if you're not in tune with yourself, if you're not in tune with what's really happening, you will start to follow your emotions. You'll just say, oh, I feel it, but is there any evidence to actually secure that? Now, I understand that there's also a fine line with that, and I will get into that in another video. But for the most part, pay attention to what's actually happening. And if what's actually happening is lining up with what's actually going on in your mind, then cool. But if you have something going on in your mind of all of the potential of this person, all of the excitement that you think could be with this person, if you're more fixated on that as opposed to what's actually happening, what's actually going on between you and this person, then I would encourage you to take a step back and really question if you even like the person at all, or do you just like the idea of them? So my short answer to the question is no. Butterflies are not an indication that you really like them. Long-winded answer, I already gave it to you. Another little tidbit that I want to add to this. This is the other part that can get very dangerous. You are affected by the company you keep, and you are affected by the people you allow to speak into your life. And so you got to remember, you are soil. And when people come into your life, words have creative power. Words really do create things. And when people come into your life, come into your ear, and they start to share things, they get to plant seeds in your soil. So you have to guard that as much as you can. Again, we're human, we're flawed, we do our best every single day, but I do want to make that a point, that you have to guard yourself as much as you can. Not have brick walls with wire fences, but you need to use wisdom as you are interacting with people. Again, another thing I learned by being around so many different people during a pandemic, okay? So I say all of this to say, the other point that I don't want to miss out on is this. There was a woman who chimed in the comments who said, girl, yes, it is an indication that you really like him. I'm dating this guy from my church, and he's a kingdom man. And I am so head over heels about him, and I feel the butterflies with him every time I'm around him. Let me also say this little tidbit, and I'm not going to go too far into it. Just because he goes to the same church as you, just because you think he's a kingdom man because he got some scriptures in his system, does not mean that your body is still not telling you to run the other way. Do not put the label of God, church, Christ over a situation that has nothing to do with that. First of all, the way God has created us, he says he's placed everything in us to make ourselves prosperous. He also said that he's done a finished work in us. So we got to remember that God created us to use wisdom. He created us to tap into the authority that he has already given us. So we need to walk in that authority when we are walking into new relationships, when we are meeting new people. Use the authority of your good common sense to say, hey, I really think I like this person, but let me measure this. Let me see, what does this line up with? Because that's the other thing. We can also operate out of pattern, and we get so used to something that's familiar, and we call it comfort, and we think it's a connection, and we think, oh, this must be it, not realizing that we have things that we have to deal with in ourselves so that we can attract healthier people and healthier experiences in our lives. So I'm not going to go any further. This video is 10 minutes long, and that's all I wanted to say. I hope that you guys got something from this. Like I said, always use a notebook and a pen when we are talking, because I'm trying to tell you, these little nuggets may seem tiny, but the way I see it and the way I've seen it for a very long time, everything comes in doses.